지금 인러닝으로 살짝 벗어나는 버트들이 나오고 있습니다.
지금 버팅을 했습니다만, 네. 말씀하신 대로 살짝 홀이 외면하고 있는 상태고요. 지금 한 홀에서의 버디는 지금 리더보드 보시면 선두를 상당히 위협할 수 있는 네, 버디가 되기 때문에 좀 우승 경쟁이 치열합니다.
자, 공동 선두 리오넬 매과이어의 5번 홀 티샷입니다. 일단 티샷은 참 좋은데 이 뒤에서 약간의 좀 조정이 필요한 매과이어네요.
그 3라운드까지 보면은 리오넬 매과이어가 이 홀 공략이 굉장히 탁월합니다. 이 홀이 생김새 그리고 거리 이런 것들도 정말 계산이 잘 되게 지금도 의도적으로 페이드를 걸었거든요. 정말 좋은 샷을 보냈습니다. 지금 같은 경우에는 앞쪽에 있는 벙커를 가운데를 보고 페이드를 걸면 좋은 자리에서 세컨샷을 할 수가 있거든요. 매과이어가 아주 그런 공략을 잘합니다.
마지막으로 매도입니다.
이건 드로우로 걸었어요. 이거는 많이 가겠죠? 그렇게 많이 가진 않았습니다만 세 선수 모두 좋은 샷을 보냈습니다.
후루야카의 8번 홀 버디 퍼트 들어갑니다. 자, 지금 선수들이 탑 10 그룹, 그러니까 공동 11위까지의 스코어가 2언더예요. 누가 치고 올라와도 전혀 이상하지 않을 KBMG 위men's PGA 챔피언십 마지막 날입니다. 리오넬 매과이어와 신지은 선수가 7언더로 공동 선두. 그런데 모두 선수들이 최소 2분 플레이예요.
그렇죠. 그렇게 봤을 때 지금 리오넬 매과이어가 지금 4개의 홀을 플레이하는 중에 이 타수를 줄이지 못했단 말이죠.
그렇죠?
그렇기 때문에 일단은 이 선수들은 좀 위험합니다. 타수를 좀 줄이면서 그러려면 조금 플레이를 좀 가볍게 하면서 타수를 줄일 필요가 분명히 있고요.
5번 홀의 선두주 매과이어의 두 번째 샷입니다.
굿샷. 펀치로 아주 컨트롤 샷을 했는데 그냥 잘 갔고요. 오늘 5번 홀 피니치도 굉장히 무난합니다. 뒤쪽으로 가운데 거의 가운데에 꽂혀 있기 때문에 공략하기 참 좋은 위치에 있고요.
매도의 두 번째 샷도 그린에 잘 올라왔습니다. 카론타 시간의 파9 11번 홀 두 번째 샷.
고개를 떨궜는데요. 샷이 썩 좋지 않은 샷이 나왔고요. 하지만 오늘 시간다의 그린 위에서의 플레이를 본다면 저 펫도 거의 가망이 없다고 보기는 어렵습니다.
자, 이제 신지은 선수의 5번 홀 두 번째 샷입니다. 홀까지 남은 거리는 125야드.
지금 많아야 피칭 웨지 거리이기 때문에 이 기회는 놓치면 안 되죠. 다만 핀의 왼쪽은 약간 내리막이 있기 때문에 왼쪽으로 떨어지면 좀 어렵고요. 핀의 오른쪽으로 떨어지면 좋은 버디 기회를 만들 수가 있습니다.
자, 지금 세 선수의 볼이 떨어진 위치가 다 좀 다릅니다.
네.
누구의 퍼팅이 가장 그나마 편안할까요?
지금 뭐 누구의 퍼팅이 편안하다고 하기는 좀 곤란하고요. 다 비슷합니다.
네. 지금 어쨌든 누구라도 이 조금의 이 답보 상태인
네.
플레이를 좀 깨야 하는 이 선두조잖아요.
그렇죠.
그래서 한번 여쭤봤는데
그렇죠. 저렇게 좀 웃으면서 네, 캐디와 좀 얘기도 좀 하면서 좀 편안하게 플레이를 해야 되겠습니다. 이 샷을 준비하는 과정도 그렇고 신준 선수도 시간을 너무 끌고 있으면서 몸이 좀 경직이 되어 있지 않나 싶습니다. 지금도 스윙이 제대로 이루어지지 않으면서 오른쪽으로 밀린 거거든요.
투어에서 우승을 한 번 한 것도 어려운데 그렇기 때문에 기회가 왔을 때 잡아야 된다는 생각을 신지은 선수가 하면서 조금 부담을 느끼는 걸까요? 좀 더 편안하게 경기를 했으면 좋겠다는 골프계 선배의 이 마음이 좀 전달이 됐으면 좋겠습니다.
그렇죠. 이 퍼팅의 난이도는 거리보다는 그 퍼팅이 가지고 있는 라인, 퍼팅 라인, 브레이크가 훨씬 더 중요합니다. 어디에 놓여 있느냐, 예를 들자면 똑바로 된 5m 펫이 한 2m 되는 왼쪽 그 옆라이에보다 훨씬 쉬워요. 이 펫은 오른쪽에서 왼쪽으로 도는 브레이크 있고요. 너무 많이 보면 안 됩니다. 선수들이 보는 것보다는 그렇게 많이 꺾이진 않는 라인이고요. 이거는 거의 3컵, 4컵 정도 지나갔죠. 너무 많이 본 거예요.
같은 실수가 나오는 스테파니 메도입니다. 야, 기대됩니다. 들어갈까요? 7번 홀입니다. 시간다.
네, 일찌감치 퍼팅 라인에서 좀 벗어났죠. 거리도 있었고 성공을 하기에는 쉽지 않은 거리와 브레이크를 갖고 있었던 퍼팅이었습니다. 왜야약가
한 번 더 버디를 할 수 있는 기회입니다.
또 들어가네? 또 들어가네?
들어가네요.
4언더파.
자, 이렇게 되면 프로야야가도 공동 6위 그룹으로 올라섭니다. 7, 8, 9번 연속해서 버디를 합니다.
아무래도 우승이 없다 뿐이지 후레야야카도 상당한 멘탈이 강한 선수잖아요. 벌써 매치 플레이 준우승만 2번을 한 선수니까 아마 우승 경쟁을 같이 한다 그러면 이 선수도 만만치 않은 멘탈을 갖고 있는 선수죠.
후레야야카도 1라운드 그 힘든 상황 속에서도 선두권에 있었는데 2라운드 경기가 워낙 좋지 않았어요. 4타를 잃으면서 75타를 쳤고 어제 그래도 2타를 만회하고 오늘 또 연속해서 버디를 기록하고 있습니다. 아쉽네요.
신지은 선수가 일단은 고무적입니다. 지나가는 퍼팅이 나오고 있어요. 조금만 가볍게 플레이를 한다면 더 좋은 플레이를 할 수 있을 것 같은데
인러닝의 6번 홀 두 번째 샷이었습니다. 자, 7번 홀로 가보겠습니다. 파5 7번 홀 원지장입니다. 오늘 이 홀에서는 지금까지 이글이 2개 나왔는데요. 안정적으로 버디를 만들 수 있는 조언을 원지장이 보였습니다.
많이 지나갔습니다. 물론 저 자리는 똑바르던 15위 80인 한데.
Hi, hello, this is Young-ho Kim from South Korea. You are now seeing the last round of 2023 Women's PGA Championship at the Baltusrol Golf Club in Springfield, New Jersey. I want to tell the major number 218, Brooks Koepka, 5-time major champion. Brooks Koepka, competing in his 5th US Open, entered the final round at the Erin Hills, 1 stroke behind the 54-hole leader Brian Harman. Playing one group in front of Harman and Justin Thomas, who was the talk of the championship just the day before. After his record-setting 963, Koepka made 3 birdies on the front 9, and then, as Harman started to scuffle, pulled away with 3 straight birdies down the stretch to claim victory by 4 strokes. And there's a Reuters report on June 19, 2017, titled Major Change as Koepka Wins US Open. The winds of change were blowing at the US Open on Sunday as Brooks Koepka sailed to a 4-stroke victory at the Erin Hills, making it the 7th consecutive major that has crowned a first-time winner. A changing of golf's old guard has been underway for some time, but the 117th US Open signaled that it can be considered complete, with neither Phil Mickelson and or Tiger Woods teeing up at the major for the first time since the 1994 US Masters. Fans now learn to see Dustin Johnson, Rory McIlroy, and Jason Day, the youth movement having firms taken hold. Koepka, South Korea's Kim Si-woo, Japan's Hideki Matsuyama, Englishman Tony Fleetwood, and Americans Brian Harman and Ricky Fowler were the names battling for major glory on Sunday, rather than the likes of Jim Furyk, Stuart Sink, and Ernie Els. Sentiment and nostalgia will always find a place on the leaderboard, as 37-year-old Sergio Garcia showed by notching his first major win at the Masters in April, while 50-year-old Wisconsin native Steve Stricker provided an emotional touchstone in an Erin Hills swan song. But the year's second major belonged to the young guns who tackled the longest layout ever for a US Open. Koepka held firm against the buffeting winds and crushing pressure to claim a sensational 4-shot victory over Harman and Matsuyama. The muscular American, who started the day 1 back of their lead, tamed his nerves and the wind-whipped course, carding 6 birdies, including 2 to kickstart his round against a single bogey for a 5-under 67. Koepka's winning total of 16 under par equals the lowest score to par for a US Open, matching Rory McIlroy's victory at Congressional in 2011 on a par 71 layout. After days of being humbled, Erin Hills turned nasty for the final round as heavy winds pummeled the link-style layout, adding an intriguing wrinkle to the year's second major. But Koepka would not be blown off course, producing a near flawless final round, subduing the winds with a mix of power and precision. Obviously, the wind picked up and I felt like that played right into my hand, said Koepka, who considered himself a good ball striker and good putter. And I felt confident all week, so to feel as confident as I did on a Sunday of a major and coming down the stretch was pretty neat. One of golf's biggest hitters, the 27-year-old, also demonstrated a killer instinct along with a deft touch with the putter, rolling in a monster 41-foot birdie putt at the 8th. When Matsuyama, at number 4, the highest ranked player to make the cut, delivered the round of the day, a 6 under 66 to get within one of the lead, a rampaging Koepka countered with a golf's version of the knockdown punch, clinching victory in ruthless style by registering 3 straight birdies from the 14th. Harman leveled with Koepka with 6 to play and without a bogey on the back nine all week, took his first at the 12th after his tee shot ended up in the belt-high fescue and followed that up with another at the 13th. The miscues put Koepka around back on the top of the leaderboard, a perch from which he would not be removed. It hasn't sunk in, obviously, yet, and probably won't for a few days, said Koepka. That's probably one of the coolest things I've ever experienced, and to do it on Father's Day, it's pretty neat. I didn't exactly get my dad a card, so this works. New York Times, Karen Cruz, June 18, 2017. Brooks Koepka wins US Open for his first major title. Erin, Wisconsin. Fred Couples was 32 years old when he won the Masters for his first and only major. Tom Kite was 10 years older when he won the 1992 United States Open, his first and only major. Couples and Kite ended up in the World Golf Hall of Fame, but if they were playing today, they would be in danger of being left behind before they got started. Brooks Koepka went into this United States Open, his 5th, with a 1 PGA Tour victory and 1 European Tour title. At 27, he was in his mind an underachiever. It took him 6 years, an eternity in a sport that has been ruled by boy kings like Jordan Spieth and Rory McIlroy, but on Sunday at Erin Hills, Koepka finally won the major title that he has been chasing since he turned professional. Koepka's 72-hole total of 16 under par 272 tied the the tournament record for lowest total under par, which was set by McIlroy at the Congressional Country Club in 2011. Koepka also became the 7th consecutive first-time winner in the men's majors, and he is the youngest of the 7 by a few months. After parting the 18th hole, Koepka walked off the green like a man leaving the grocery store with a surprise for a barbecue. Though his face did not show it, he was excited really. Did you see that fist pump on 18? Koepka said. With his laid-back demeanor and long-hitting dexterity, Koepka has much in common with the last year's champion Dustin Johnson, who missed the cut at Erin Hills. They are good friends, and on Saturday night, Johnson phoned Koepka, who at the time sat 1 stroke off Brian Harman's 54-hole lead. Their conversation was lengthy for them, nearly 2 minutes. By Koepka's estimation, Johnson reminded him to stay patient and not to get ahead of himself. Until this past week, patience had done little to guide Koepka, who has been in a hurry since he turned pro in 2012 after a solid college career at the Florida State. He eschewed the beaten path to the PGA Tour through the Wet.com circuit to play in Europe, where he thought he could improve his game and his world ranking more quickly. He joined the European Tour in 2013 and won the Turkish Airlines Open a year later. He got his first PGA Tour title at the 2015 Phoenix Open. In an interview with the Golf Digest in 2015, Koepka said that in his mind, he saw himself as a part of an exclusive group with Spieth, McIlroy, and Jason Day, who had just won the PGA Championship 3 months shy of his 28th birthday. Even though I'm not in it, nowhere near it, he said. Going into this tournament, he had over $10 million in PGA Tour earnings, but felt an emptiness that only trophies could fill. I just felt like I should be winning more, Koepka said. I don't know why. I just couldn't stand the fact that I had only won once. The reason was no mystery to Koepka's caddy, Ricky Elliott. With all his peers winning that are younger than him, 27 is not old, but he thinks he should be winning every week, he said. The leaderboard at Erin Hills heading into the final round was an advertisement for the death in men's golf. The top 16 players at the beginning of play on Sunday ran the gamut from the 21-year-old Siwoo Kim to the 40-year-old Charlie Hoffman. They spanned the globe from the United States to South Korea, and their resume ranged from that of Brian Harman, who had missed the cut in 5 of his previous 7 majors, to that of Ricky Fowler, who recorded top 5 finished in all 4 majors in 2014, and none of those top 16 had won a major. The course, of course, was gracing the big stage for the first time. Erin Hills, situated 35 miles northwest of Milwaukee and carved out of rolling pasture land, was a first-time US Open site. On Sunday, after 3 days of benign playing conditions, the wind kicked up and turned the nearly 8,000-yard layout into a bucking mule. Jordan Spieth, the 2015 Open champion, was in the 5th of the 34 twosomes to tee off, and he tamed a course that was buffeted by 30-mile-per-hour winds with a 3 under 69, his best round of the week by 2 strokes, and finished at 1 over. The winds died down as the afternoon wore on, and Hideki Matsuyama, bidding to become the first Japanese winner of a men's major, took full advantage. He posted the day's low round of 66 to give the 7 twosomes that started after him a target to beat, 12 under. After the third round 63, Justin Thomas was tied with Koepka and facing the enviable task of trying to follow one great round with another. At the 1980 United States Open, Jack Nicklaus and Tom Weiskopf both opened with the 63s. In the second round, Nicklaus carded a 71, Weiskopf a 75. Thomas, 24 and already a 3-time Tour winner this season, could not avoid a similar letdown. He closed with a 75 to finish tied for 9th at 8 under with a Trey Mullinax 68 and Brent Snedeker 71. Like Thomas, Fowler, Matsuyama, and almost every other tour player in his 20s, Koepka was drawn to golf by the magnet that was Tiger Woods. It was pretty cool to watch Tiger win. I'm not going to lie, Koepka said. He added, that's kind of why I'm playing. Wisconsin's native son, Steve Stricker, who closed with a 69 to finish 5 under, planned to return to the course after signing his scorecard. As the American captain of this year's President's Cup team, Stricker, 50, had a vested interest in how Koepka, Harman, Fowler, and even Matsuyama are locked for the international squad finished. Stricker had already 7 enough this past week to feel good about where the game is headed. These guys just take on everything with no fear, he said. He added, they play very aggressively and it's fun to watch. Washington Post, Thomas Boswell, June 18, 2017. US Open champ Brooke Koepka speaks softly and carries a big stick. Erin Hills, Wisconsin. When Brooks Koepka tapped in his final putt to win the 117th US Open by 4-stroke shots and tie Rory McIlroy's record of 16 under par in the ancient event, the 27-year-old may have had the most muted reaction in the history of a human who was still breathing. He gave 2 little fist pumps. Upon reflection, he added one more. That's probably the most emotion I've ever shown, Koepka said afterward. That was it? Ever? What? You didn't see that fist pump on 18? When this event ended, Koepka's image might have been summed up entirely incorrectly by one of his quotes this past week when he said that nothing in golf really gets me too worked up. Whatever happens, bogey, double bogey, birdie, eagle, I'm pretty chill anyway. Hence the notion that the gifted Koepka, from a long line of fine athletes, including a great uncle Dick Groat, who was National League MVP, was some sort of big chill of the PGA Tour, an emotionless flatliner, a good friend and workout partner of stoic world #1 player Dustin Johnson, man of few syllables, much less words. Koepka even said that Johnson had called him with encouragement Saturday night. It was a long phone call, he said. For us, it was like 2 minutes. But about an hour after his final putt, as the size of his accomplishment sank in and everything it meant began to dig into Koepka, he conducted a remarkable long mass interview in which he opened up so much, was so frank and interesting, that the man of no emotion who won the US Open was replaced by a vastly more interesting person, that is to say, the real Koepka. It's taken me a long time to learn how to not to try win. I've been trying to win too badly. I feel like I've underachieved, Koepka said of his 4 years on the PGA Tour after spending 3 years playing tours around the world. I put myself in contention so many times, but I never quite came through. I'm not a big fan of losing. I just couldn't stand the fact that I had only won once on tour, he said. So the Koepka, who, in a golf cart leaving the last green, put his hands over his face, pulled his head over his eyes, and seemed to melt with relief, is a more accurate picture of the golf's champion of America. This past week, Koepka said, I don't think I've ever got nervous. I just stayed in the moment. I didn't think about hugging the trophy. You are here to play golf for 18 holes. I don't think I mentioned winning to my caddy all week. To say that this version of the golfing Kepka is new to in a grand understatement. This guy is so freshly minted, he may still be hot from the smell. Speaking of an early season slump this year, Kepka said, I was grinding all day or every day, in the gym every day. I just couldn't get my mind to free up, but I'm past that now. The golf life is perhaps not something you would wish on a friend. The difference between being in the moment for 4 days, never having that fraction of a second slip in focus that leads to a double bogey is separated from a state of mind cramp, of near golf desperation by a mental membrane so slim and fragile that golfers don't even want to think about it. Instead, they say things like, I'm past that now, until the next time they aren't. As recently as 2014, Kepka said he called his manager before the final day of a European event, which he ended up winning, and said, I don't want to play. I want to go home now, he says. I don't even know what it was. I'd played so many weeks in a row, it really got to me is all I can say. So let's hold the talk about being chill. That's an emotional state that young golfers battle to reach, then maintain precariously. That's why they never cover their eyes, pull down their heads in moments of glory as their girlfriends pat the shoulder. Right now, there may not be any sport in America where you can be as good as Kepka. Almost everyone in golf thinks that the ex-Florida State star, ranked number 22 in the world, is a major figure of the game's future, and yet have so many genial, obsessed, talented players of your generation, your own buddies, who are constantly trying to grind you to dust by their sheer members. They are the age that got full-blown Tiger Slam Eldrick Woods at their most impressionable age. If this Open illustrated any general trend in golf, it is the depth of gifted players who stand just below the megastar ranks of Johnson, Jason Day, Rory McIlroy, and Jordan Spieth. This was their US Open to step forward and demonstrate the broad sweep over 20-something, that talent that fills the game. The broad fairways here and enormous length, 41 yards, longest in a major championship, allowed them to show their power, and the low, if sometimes not quite polished gifts. I love this course, and as soon as I saw it, it was kind of bombs away, said Kepka, who averaged 322.1 yards off the tee, 7th longest in the field. Even though the 15-man leaderboard did not at any point Sunday contain a player who had won a major title, the field still had a mind-boggling Eve 7, who finished at 10 under par or lower. In the first US Opens, there had been 2. In part, that is due to rain and the soft scoring conditions. In part, 11-year-old Erin Hills, even in stiff winds on the last day, probably never played tough enough to have hosted an Open in the first place. But mostly the phenomenal scores pointed to the wave of new stars, such as Kepka, who sometimes obscure each other. For example, before Kepka gave his post-round news conference, he was introduced by a USGA official as Bruce. We won't be mixing these guys up much longer. On Sunday, young players such as runner-up Hideki Matsuyama, who shot the final round 66, Ricky Fowler and Justin Thomas all had moments in contention. They are 25, 28, and 24 years old and ranked numbers 4, 9, and 13 in the world. Siwoo Kim, who lurked all week, is 21. Jander Schauffele, 23, may have started the week ranked number 352, but he won't be for long after finishing 10 under for 5th place. Those guys are going to have amazing careers. The younger generation that's coming up right now, it's really impressive, Koepka said. So it's getting that much harder to win them. Yet win them is exactly what Koepka says he intends to do. And unlike most players after a first major, he's willing to say it. My goals, they are pretty high. At the beginning of this year, I felt I needed to win multiple times and the major, Koepka said. I think I can win multiple times a year. This is major number 1 and hopefully many more to come. Brooks Koepka caps a record week with a US Open title in Wisconsin. Brooks Koepka received a short piece of advice from a valuable source on the eve of the final round at the US Open. Defending champion Dustin Johnson was doing most of the talking. It was a long phone call for us. It was like 2 minutes, Koepka said. But he just said a few things and just stay patient, and I will win if I stay patient and just keep doing what I'm doing. What he did looked awfully familiar Sunday at Erin Hills, minus any mess involving the rules. With athleticism and power and 4 straight putts over the back 9 that allowed him pull away, Koepka capped off his hard scrabble journey around the world and found stardom at home as the US Open champion. He closed with a 5 under 67, only realizing after his par on the final hole that a birdie would have set yet another US Open record in a week filled with them. Koepka finished at 16 under 272, matching the lowest score to par, first set by Rory McIlroy 6 years ago at Congressional. Tied for the lead with 6 holes to play, Koepka holed an 8-foot par putt on the 13th hole that gave him confidence with his stroke and the momentum to pour in birdies on the next 3 holes to turn the final hour into a celebration of another young star in golf. The 27-year-old Koepka wound up winning by 4 shots over Brian Harman, who was done in by back-to-back bogeys right when Koepka was making his run, and Hideki Matsuyama, who closed with a 66. That's probably the most emotion I've ever shown coming down the stretch, Koepka said. It feels amazing to get my name on this trophy with so many other great names. It's truly an honor. Emotion? The most he's displayed was a light fist pump, his hand clenched a little tighter with each birdie, and a double fist pump on the 18th when he tapped in for par. It's not much different from Johnson. They are close friends on the golf course and in the gym, and they play a similar game of power off the tee, a clean strike with an iron, and the neck for looking calm even as the pressure is ramping up. And now their names are on the US Open trophy. One after the other. It kept quite a journey for the Floridan. Without a card on any tour, when Koepka got out of Florida State, he filled his passport on the Challenge Tour with the stamps from Kazakhstan to Kenya, Scotland and Spain. India and the Madeira Island. One night in Scotland, he called his agent and wanted to come home, even though he was leading the tournament. He had been on the road for so long, in so many different countries, and was feeling lonely. He won the next day to graduate to the European Tour. The next year, he earned a spot in the US Open through a qualifier in England, and his tie for 4th at Pinus number 2 helped him earn a card on the PGA Tour. Koepka took it from there, a victory in Turkey against the strong field, his first PGA Tour victory in the Phoenix Open, his first Ryder Cup, and now a major championship. Co-leader Shin hits on the 8th hole, number 4, par 4, and another co-leader is Lindsey Wee, not Maguire. Koepka became the 7th straight first-time winner of a major championship, and it was the first time since 1998 to 2000 that Americans won the national championship 3 straight years. Tommy Fleetwood, who played alongside Koepka and closed with a 72 to finish 4th, played the Challenge Tour a year before Koepka arrived. It gives you a good grounding, Fleetwood said. Obviously, Brooks dealt with it amazingly. He came in and kicked everyone's behind over there, but didn't he? But he's proven for a long time how good he is. Now he's done it in a major. It was only fitting that Koepka left Erin Hills with yet another record matched or broken. McIlroy finished at 16 under 268 when he won on rain-softened Congressional in the 2011 US Open. But the low scoring went much deeper than that. Only 6 players had ever reached double digits under par in the previous 116 times at the US Open. McIlroy and Tiger Woods, 12 under at the Pebble Beach in 2000, had been the only players to finish there. 3 weeks alone, 9 players reached at least 10 under and 7 finished there. Xander Schauffele, a rookie on the PGA Tour, playing in his first US Open, birdied his last hole for 69 to tie for 5th at 10 under 268, along with Bill Haas 69 and Ricky Fowler 72, who was poised at yet another major to win only to fall back. Fowler started 1 shot out of the lead at the Masters this year and shot 76. He was only 2 behind when he made a turn, but bogeys on the 12th and 15th holes and no birdies until number 18 ended his hopes. Justin Thomas, coming off a 9 under 63 that matched the major championship scoring record and was the first 9 under round at the US Open, went out in 39 and closed with a 75 to tie for 9th. The week ended with 31 players under par, breaking the US Open record of 28 players at the Medina in 1990. There were 133 sub-par rounds, 9 more than the previous record in that 1990 US Open. Brooks Koepka reacts on the 18th hole during the first round. This is caption. Brooks Koepka charged to US Open title, first major with a late birdie run. Brooks Koepka, a strapping Floridian with a wowing golf talent, a chilled disposition, an athlete's cocksure gait, and a three-year place at the fringe of the bright lights, fled that fringe on a blustery Sunday at Erin Hills. He became both a 27-year-old US Open champion and the latest of golf's enviably young headliners. He did it by using an unusual amount of oomph to separate from an unusually crowded crowd. Asked whether he had sunken, he said, "Oh no." When he approached number 14 with his wee one-shot lead and his opinion that his wins in Japan, Turkey, and Phoenix constituted underachievement, he seemed to stand far from his gorgeous 67, his four-shot win, his blissful score of 272, and the US Open record-tying score against the par of 16 under. It had been just 3 years since he snared his PGA Tour card with a fourth place finish at the US Open at Pinehurst in North Carolina, just 5 since a shortcoming at the PGA Tour qualifying school sent him scurrying to the second-tier Challenge Tour in Europe. And there, he proved such a trembling mess that he birdied number 14, birdied number 15, birdied number 16, and sprinted from the others. The others included recent Wells Fargo winner Brian Harman, who led Koepka by 1 as Sunday began and took a winding way to a 72 and 12 under. The fourth-ranked player in the world, Hideki Matsuyama, whose 66 carried him from 14th place to second at 12 under, and the neophyte Tommy Fleetwood, an Englishman who had played 7 previous majors and missed 6 cuts, and whose 72 left him at 11 under. The others also included viable contenders who failed to menace, such as first-round leader Ricky Fowler, whose 72 left him 10 under, and third-round sensation Justin Thomas, whose record 9 under 63 on Saturday, jinged with 9 birdies and an eagle, but whose 75 on Sunday left him at 8 under. Even in a tournament in which 7 players shot double-digit numbers under par, 5 more than had done it in the first 116 US Opens, and 31 shot under par, the whole horde of them somehow wound up looking up at 1. He birdied 14, 15, and 16, and that was the kind of lights out. Harman said, "I felt he's been very unnoticed and maybe not respected as much as he should have," Thomas said. "You've just got to tip your cap. He went and won the tournament on the back 9, Harman said. "He's proven for a long time how good he is. Now he's done it in a major." Playing partner Fleetwood said, "He bolted up and the suspense bolted out. He took the starch right out of a heavily contended major. And to be honest with you," he said, "this week I don't think I ever got nervous. Not at one point. I just stayed in the moment." Seconded his caddy, the Northern Irishman and American dual citizenship, Ricky Elliott. To be honest, he was just so in control all day. He just deadlined all day. As the second straight US Open winner with a laconic pulse, he even talked by phone Saturday night to the first, Dustin Johnson, who had missed the cut here. It was a long phone call, he deadpanned, For us, it was like 2 minutes. In the eternally odd physics of golf, he thought he had been trying too hard to win. So when he won by not trying so hard to win, there's something about majors where I just focus in a lot more, he said, and the record does show it is. 15 majors or so, 5 top 10 finishes, 4 top 5 finishes, and the major, the 7th consecutive golf major to go to a first-time winner in this populous year. To him, the Sunday turned for good not so long after number 10, where he had produced both his lone 3-putt of the week and, as he assessed it, one of the worst strokes I hit all week. By number 13, he faced an inconvenient 9-footer just to hang on to par. He saw the hole in a little swale where he played it just outside the cup. Hit it just high a little bit outside. It plunked down with a flawless obedience, and Koepka said, that par save was massive on 13. That's the reason I felt I had so much confidence coming down. He had hit 3-wood from 300 at the par 5 number 14, his 8-iron from 155 on the par 4 number 15, and his 9-iron to par 3 number 16, all struck with the poise of someone who expected to be there. That posture went all the way to the understated double fist pump at number 18, after his 2-foot par closed it with Harmon and Thomas still on the course. Pretty soon, 2-time winner Curtis Strange was handing him the trophy, and Elliott, the caddy, was saying of Koepka, I think he will even smile. Merely 4 years ago, before the PGA Championship at Rochester, New York, somebody had told Elliott of a young player who needed a caddy who could ply both sides of the Atlantic Ocean. Now Elliott told of watching Koepka hit lovely 2 beautifully struck shots with their beautifully controlled spin and thinking, this boy is good to be good. JTBC Golf now shows the highlights of the final round. Kim remains right at home on big stage. PGA Tour.com Ben Averill, June 16, 2017. Erin, Wisconsin. At times on Friday at the US Open, Siwoo Kim showed a passionate temperament, but for the most part, the player champion looked as cool as a cucumber in the Wisconsin heat. If you thought this 21-year-old Korean was a flash in the pan, it appears you might need to rethink. Kim backed up his opening 69 with a solid 70 at Erin Hills to sit at 5 under for the championship, well and truly in the mix for another huge trophy. Not far removed from his dismantling of TPC Sawgrass, Kim showed a steely focus as he stalked his way through these rolling former farmlands in his very first US Open and just third major championship. It took one extremely vocal Korean fan yelling encouragement in his native tongue to break the glass-eyed stare and concentration, but after a quick smile and a wave, it was back to business. It was the same story after the odd disappointing shot or putt. Kim would release his tension with a putter flip, or he would pretend to want to snap a club in two, but within seconds, his focus returned. He doesn't hold anything in, caddy Mark Cairns admits. He gets it out and then he is always ready for the next shot, which is great. His game seems to get better every week. It continues to evolve. Despite being a winner at the 2016 Wyndham Championship, his players' victory still caught many by surprise. The main reason is a continued battle with his back problems. And added to that was an ankle complaint, which saw him withdraw from the Memorial Tournament during the second round recently. But as his health improves, so does his confidence. Kim currently sits 7th on the international team standing for the President's Cup at the Liberty National later this year. He is hoping to solidify his place with another big week at Erin Hills. Captain Nick Price has already endorsed him as an up-and-coming talent who he hopes can help end the American stranglehold on the biannual event. The players gave me a lot of confidence, Kim said. I'd love to make the President's Cup team, and hopefully I can continue to play well this week and the rest of the year. I just have to keep doing what I'm doing. Another to approve of his potential place in the team is 2013 and 2015 international player Mark Leishman, who was paired with Kim over the opening 2 rounds at Erin Hills. His emotion might still be a bit low, but his game certainly isn't, Leishman said. He certainly has plenty of game and could be a great addition to the international team. It really seems like he has a handle on playing under pressure. I guess the players proved that. Should Kim go on and win this week, he would become just 5th player to win a major in the same year as his player's title, and just a second behind Martin Kaymer 2014 to win the Players and the US Open in the same season. I feel confident, but I'm still nervous, he admits as he heads to the weekend. But the key will be much of the same and some better putting. Hopefully, I can make some more putts and then we will see. Oh, I didn't know that. The game has suspended due to inclemental weather. Yes. The next major, number 219, Justin Thomas, who has become two-time PGA champion winner. First in 2017 at the Charlotte, North Carolina. AP Doug Fergus, August 13, 2017. Justin Thomas rallies to win the PGA Championship. Charlotte, North Carolina. Justin Thomas emerged from the shadow of a longtime friend and won the PGA Championship to take his place among the young elite in golf. With two big breaks to start the back nine, a chip in for birdie to seize control, and a timely 7-iron that soared over the water to a peninsula green, Thomas closed with a 3-under 16-8 for a two-shot victory. The PGA Championship was the most fitting major for the 24-year-old son of a PGA professional. Mike Thomas, a former PGA board member and a longtime pro at the Harmony Landing outside Louisville, Kentucky, walked along the edge of the 18th green and into the arms of his son, a major champion. The week began with a Jordan Spieth cast for a career Grand Slam. Spieth was at the 18th green late Sunday afternoon at Cale Hollow, but only so he could celebrate the moment with Thomas, close friends since they were 14. So awesome, dude, Spieth told him. Wanna make a trophy? Thomas was every bit of that. With a 5 plays still in the mix on the back nine, Thomas surged ahead by chipping in from 40 feet on the par 3 13th hole and holding his nerve down the stretch as his challengers eventually faded, one after another. Hideki Matsuyama, bidding to become the first player from Japan to win a major, recovered from back-to-back bogeys with the birdies on the 14th and 15th holes to get within one shot, but the championship turned on the 16th hole. Thomas faced a 6-foot par putt to stay at 8 under. Matsuyama caught a good lie over the green and chipped to 5 feet. Thomas wasted no time over the putt and drilled it in the center of the cup. Matsuyama missed and was 2 shots behind. The last major of the year, and I was in contention, said Matsuyama, a runner-up at the US Open. All I can do is try harder next time. Thomas sealed it with a 7-iron from 221 yards, so pure that he let the club twirl through his hands as he watched it clear the water and rolled out to 15 feet. The birdie putt curled in and his lead was up to 3 going to the 18th. A final bogey only affected the score. Thomas finished at 8 under 276 for his 4th victory of the year. The PGA has been part of the Thomas family for 3 generations. Paul Thomas, his grandfather, was the longtime pro at the Jonesville Country Club in Ohio, who played in the 1962 US Open. His father played at the Morehead State and had aspirations of playing the tour that didn't last long. Instead, Mike Thomas became a club pro who watched his son fall in love with the game and grow into force on the PGA Tour. I can't put it into words, Thomas said about his PGA of America heritage. I wish my grandpa could be here for it. It's so special to get it done. I'm glad we have a trophy now. Kevin Kisner was the last one who had a chance to catch him, but he three-putted from 100 feet on the 16th for bogey, couldn't birdie the 17th from long range, and hit his second shot into the water and finished with a double bogey. Kisner, the 54-hole leader, played the final 3 holes in 6 over on the weekend. He closed with a 74. That's not going to be fun to look at, he said of his weekend finish over the brutal closing stretch at Cale Hollow. I thought I had to get to 10 under starting the day to win, and that was about right. I had every opportunity, I just didn't finish it off. Matsuyama also hit into the water on number 18 and made bogey for a 72 finish 3 back. Louis Oosthuizen 70, Patrick Reed 67, and Francesco Molinari 67 tied for second, though none had a chance to win playing the 18th. Oosthuizen holed a 50-foot birdie putt on the 18th to get a runner-up finish in the majors for the 4th time. For Reed, it was his first top 10 in a major. Just 2 months ago, fresh off a record time 63 in the US Open to get in the final group at Erin Hills, Thomas struggled from the start and shot 75. He started this final round 2 shots behind, scored a bunker shot on the front hole, and had to make a 15-foot putt to avoid double bogey. He missed a short par putt on number 3, and that was the last mistake he made until it no longer mattered. Thomas began this move with a 35-foot birdie putt on number 9, and then caught 2 breaks on the par 5 10th. His tee shot sailed left into the tree and bounced out into the fairway. Then his 8-foot birdie putt hung on the left edge of the cup. Thomas smiled and lazily turned away, and a few seconds later, as he looked back toward the hole, gravity took over and the ball dropped into the cup. He had a chance for a knockout until failing to birdie the 2 easiest holes on the back 9, only to make up for it with a tough bunker shot on the 16th that led to his clutch par and the 7-iron that made him a major champion. He gets referred to endlessly as Spieth's best friend because Spieth, who is 3 months younger, has done so much so quickly. Their friendship dates to France when they represented the US in the Evian Junior Masters. Thomas won that 36-hole event. 10 years later, they have won consecutive majors and head into the FedEx Cup playoffs, battling for PGA Tour Player of the Year. The next major player, number 216, is Jimmy Walker, who won 2016 PGA Championship, and the major winner number 217 is Sergio Garcia, who won the 2017 Masters. Then major winner 215 is Henrik Stenson of Sweden, who won 2016 the Open. And the major winner 214 is the LIV golfer Dustin Johnson, who won 2016 US Open and 2020 Masters. And then major winner 213 is Danny Willett of England, who won the 2016 Masters. Then after that, major winner 212 is Jason Day of Australia, who won 2015 PGA Championship. And major winner 211 is Jordan Spieth, a three-time major champion. Spieth won 2015 Masters and US Open and 2017 the Open. Then major champion 210 is Jason Dufner, winner of 2013 PGA Championship. And the major winner 209 is Justin Rose of England, who clinched the 2013 US Open. Major winner 208 is Adam Scott of Australia, who won 2013 Masters. Major champion 207 is Webb Simpson, who is the winner of 2012 US Open. And the major winner 206 is Bubba Watson, who won 2 Masters in 2012 and 2014. 제가 그 2017년 12월 26일 새벽 5시 34분에 올렸습니다. 이 메이저란에 메이저 우승자 제201호에서 205호 마틴 카이머 2승, 찰 슈어첼, 로리 맥길로이 4승, 다렌 클락, 키건 브래들리 했는데 여기에 제목이 보면 138명 메이저 1승자, 36명 메이저 2승자, 17명 메이저 3승자, 9명의 메이저 4승자, 6명의 메이저 5승자, 2명의 메이저 6승자, 5명의 메이저 7승자, 1명의 메이저 8승자 탐 왓슨, 2명의 메이저 9승자. 이게 아마 그 게리 플레이어하고 잘 모르겠는데요. 그 다음에 메이저 11승의 월터 헤이건, 메이저 15승의 타이거 우즈, 메이저 18승의 잭 니콜라우스를 정확하게 표기를 했군요. 이때 이렇게 썼습니다. 안녕하십니까. 2017년 12월 24일 일요일 밤 7시 35분입니다. 메이저 제201호 마틴 카이먼은 독일은 2010년 PGA 선수권과 2014년 US 오픈을, 2002년 찰 슈어첼 남아공은 2011년 마스터즈를 우승하였습니다. 메이저 제203호 로리 맥길로이 북아일랜드는 2011년 US 오픈, 2012년, 2014년 PGA 선수권, 2014년에는 디오픈에 4승을 하였고, 제204호 다렌 클락 북아일랜드는 2011년 디오픈을, 제205호 키건 브래들리는 2011년 PGA 선수권을 우승하였습니다. (25일) 새벽 4시 30분 성탄절 한잔 자고 차를 갖고 올라왔습니다. 이게 새벽이 아니고 오후 4시 30분이군요. 신호배 결승 제4권 펑리야오가 커잭의 반집 이기는 것 같습니다. 메이저 1승자는 앤드류 스트라스 넘버 3, 메이저 우승자 넘버 3입니다. 톰 키드 넘버 5, 문고 파크 넘버 6, 윌리 퍼니 넘버 10, 잭 심슨 넘버 11, 데이비드 브라운 넘버 12, 잭 번즈 넘버 14, 존 볼 넘버 15, 휴 커칼디 넘버 16, 윌리엄 아우츠로니 넘버 18, 호러스 롤린스 넘버 20, 제임스 풀리스 넘버 22, 조 로이드 넘버 23, 프레드 허드 넘버 24. 그는 1898년 US 오픈에서 7타 차로 우승하였습니다. 다음 윌리 스미스 넘버 25, 1899년 US 오픈에서 11타 차로 이깁니다. 샌디 허드 넘버 28, 로리 오처로니 넘버 29, 잭 화이트 넘버 30, 알렉스 로스 넘버 32, 아노 마시 넘버 33, 프레드 맥레오드 넘버 34, 조지 사전트 넘버 35, 프랜시스 위맨 넘버 38, 제롬 트레이버즈 넘버 40, 칙 에반스 넘버 41, 조지 덩컨 넘버 43, 아서 하버즈 넘버 46, 시릴 워커 넘버 48, 윌리 맥파레인 넘버 49, Johnny Farrell, number 51. Billy Buck, number 53. Tom Creevy, number 54. Johnny Goodman, number 56. Sam Parks Jr., number 61. Alf Perry, number 62. Johnny Revolta, number 63. Tony Manero, number 64. Alf Padgham, number 65. Reg Hitcomb, number 69. Dick Burton, number 70. Lawson Little, number 72. Big Gagey, number 74. Bob Hamilton, number 76. Herman Kaiser, number 77. Lloyd Mangrum, number 78. Lew Worsham, number 80. Jim Perrier, number 81. Fred Daly, number 82. Claude Hammer, number 83. Chandler Harper, number 86. Max Faulkner, number 87. Jim Tonessa, number 89. Walter Burkimo, number 90. Ed Purgel, number 91. Chick Harbert, number 93. Jack Fleck, number 94. Dick Mayer, number 97. Lionel Hayward, number 98. Tommy Bolt, number 100. Dow Finsterwald, 101. Atwell Jr., 102. Bob Rosberg, 105. 이까지는 그 숫자를 넣었습니다. 다음에 켈 나글, 제이 헤이버트, 진 리틀러, 제리 바버, 법 찰스, 캠 벤츄리, 토니 레마, 바비 니콜즈, 데이브 마, 알 가이버거, 게이 브루어, 로베르토 디 비센조, 돈 제너리, 밥 골비, 조지 아처, 오빌 무디, 찰스 쿠디, 타미 아론, 탐 와이스코프, 루 그레엄, 제리 페이트, 레니 와킨스, 존 메어피, 빌리 로저스, 크레이그 스테들러, 할 서튼, 밥 투웨이, 레디 마이즈, 스캇 심슨, 제프 슬루먼, 마크 칼카베키아, 웨인 그리디, 이안 우스남, 이안 베이커 핀치, 프레드 커플스, 탐 카이트, 폴 에이징어, 코리 페이빈, 스티브 엘킹턴, 스티브 존스, 탐 레이먼, 마크 브룩스, 저스틴 레너드, 데이비스 러브 3, 폴 로리, 데이비드 두발, 데이비드 탐스, 리치 빔, 마이크 위어, 짐 퓨릭, 벤 커티스, 션 맥힐, 토드 해밀턴, 마이클 캠벨, 제프 오길비, 트레버 이멜만, 루카스 글로버, 스튜어트 싱크. 메이저 1승자로서는 121번째가 되는 양용훈입니다. 그러나 전체 메이저 순위는 196인가 그럴 겁니다. 다음 그램 맥도웰, 루이 우스트이젠, 찰 슈어첼, 다렌 클락, 키건 브래들리, 웹 심슨, 아담 스콧, 지금 이제 다시 경기가 중단되고 있는데요. 광고가 끝나고 또 화면에는 이전 홀들을 보여주고 있습니다. 로즈장이 얘가 아주 미끈하네요. 몸매도 좋고. 메이저 1승자들을 계속 부르겠습니다. 이전까지 아담 스콧까지 했죠. 저스틴 로즈, 제이슨 더프너, 제이슨 데이, 데니 윌렛, 헨릭 스탠슨, 지미 워커, 세리오 가르시아. 이러면 더스틴 잔슨과 브루스 캣과 저스틴 타머스를 빼면은 총 135명이 되네요. 이승자는 복 마틴, 빌리 파크 주니어, 해럴드 힐튼, 알렉스 스미스, 존 제이 맥더머트, 테드 레이, 족 허치슨, 레오 디겔, 올린 두트라, 호톤 스미스, 폴 러냔, 헨리 피카드, 크레이그 우드, 더그 포드, 잭 버크 주니어, 토니 제클린, 데이브 스탁턴, 조니 밀러, 휴버트 그린, 앤디 노스, 퍼지 젤러, 데이비드 그라함, 벤 크랜쇼, 베른하르트 랑거, 샌디 라이, 그레그 노만, 커티 스트레인지, 존 넬리, 리 잔센, 호세 마리아 올라자발, 마크 오메이라, 레티프 구센, 잭 잔슨, 앙헬 카브레라, 마틴 카이머, 버버 왓슨, 더스틴 잔슨, 저스틴 타머스의 38명으로 되어 있습니다. 그리고 3승자는 제미 앤더슨, 보 퍼거슨, 타미 아머, 데니 슈트, 헨리 커튼. 여기에는 헤니 코튼으로 되어 있는 건 잘못된 것 같네요. 렐프 굴달, 지미 데마렛, 캐리 미들코프, 줄리어스 보러스, 빌리 카스퍼, 헤일 오윈, 레디 넬슨, 페인 스튜어트, 닉 프라이스, BJ 싱, 패드릭 해링턴, 조던 스피스의 17명입니다. 그리고 4승자는 윌리 파크 시니어, 톰 모리스 시니어, 톰 모리스, 윌리 앤더슨, 짐 반즈, 보비 로크, 레이먼 플로이드, 어니 엘스, 로리 맥길로이의 9명입니다. 오승자는 존 헨리 테일러 또는 J.H. 테일러, 제임스 브레이드, 바이런 넬슨, 피터 톰슨, 세베 바에스테로스, 필 미켈슨, 브룩스 캡카 등 7명입니다. 그리고 6승자는 리 트레비노, 닉 팔도, 7승자의 해리 바든, 진 사라센, 바비 존스, 샘 스니드, 아노드 팔머 5명이고, 8승자의 탐 왓슨, 9승자의 벤 호간과 게리 플레이어. 벤 호간이 9승자이군요. 11승자는 월터 헤이건, 또 여기는 제가 또 하계론으로 적었네요. 영국식으로. 15승자가 타이거 우즈, 18승자가 잭 니클라우스. 잭 니클라우스는 전체 대회의 4%를 차지하며 25번 대회마다 잭 니클라우스 이름이 한 번씩 들어간다는 논리인데 정말 대단합니다. 그리고 밤 6시 10분에 뭐라고 썼는가 하면 9년이 걸린 그 수수께끼를 마침내 풀었습니다. 138, 36, 17, 9, 6, 2, 5, 1, 2, 01, 001, 0001. 그리고 26일 화요일 새벽 5시 32분인데 아내가 서초동에 간다고 해놨네요. (2010년) 제415회 메이저 제92회 PGA 선수권이 위스콘신주 쉐이보건의 히슬링 스트레이트 코스에서 열립니다. 2010년 8월 16일 월요일 아침 6시 14분에서 10시 15분입니다. 어젯밤에는 시청 앞 광장에서 기독교 집회에 참석하고 돌아와서 밤 10시 40분경에 잠자리에 들었습니다. 그런데 새벽 3시 30분에 일어나지 못하고 6시가 다 되어서야 깨었습니다. 그런데 제이골프에서 서드라운드 중계를 생중계로 잘못 생각하여 게임은 닉 와튼이 우승으로 단정하는 우를 범하기도 하였습니다. 아침 6시쯤에 노트북 화면에 잠깐 마틴 카이머 독일이 12언더로 선두였습니다. 오전 10시 3분 지금까지 제일골프에서 제92회 PGA 선수권 연장전까지 보고 샤워를 하고 외출 전에 2층에 올라왔습니다. 비미국인 마틴 카이머 만 25세 27살이 극적으로 우승하여 기분이 아주 좋습니다. 이번 주에 좋은 징조가 아닌가 합니다. 2010년 8월 16일 월요일 오전 10시 37분입니다. 어제 법무부 출입국 관리소도 가야 하고 이제 법무부 출입국 관리소도 가야 하고 고대도 가야 하고 건대병원도 가야 하고 이랬군요. 2010년 8월 16일 지금 여자 PGA 선수권은 7언더 공동 선두에 신지은과 린시위 2명이 있습니다. 그리고 6언더 4명의 카를로타 시간다, 아야카 후리오의 레오나 매과이어, 스테파니 메도, 그리고 공동 5위, 공동 7위 5언더의 안나 노르퀴스트, 로즈장, 인러닝이 있고요. 그 다음에 3언더 공동 10위에 페린 드라꾸흐, 브룩스 M 핸더슨, 미나 하리가에, 유카 사소, 리안 페이스 5명입니다. 그리고 공동 15위에 2언더 예 조디 이워트 샤도프, 난나 코에츠 마드센, 메간 캥의 셋이 있고요. 공동 18위 1언더에 고진영과 김효주, 이민지, 그레이스 킴, 로렌 커프린의 5이 있습니다. 그리고 2분파 공동 23위에 전인지 아니네요. 24위에는 앨리슨 코프즈와 셀린 부띠에 2이고요. 그리고 1오버 공동 25위에 전인지, 양희영, 안나린, 등 한국인 3명의 멜 라이드, 체인 나이트, 마리사 스틴, 링 그랜트, 아리아 주타누가룬, 가브리엘라 러펠즈, 사라 슈멜젤 등 10명입니다. 그리고 2오버 공동 35위에 3명이 있는데요. 다니엘라 달케아, 에스터 헨셀 라이트, 셀림 보르게의 3이고, 그리고 3오버 공동 38위에 한국의 최혜진, 에인젤린, 그리고 또 다른 한국인 이정은 6가 있습니다. 아닙니다. 공동 3오버 공동 38위는 이정은 6와 에인젤린 2이고요. 최혜진은 4오버, 4오버 공동 42위에 마달레네 삭스트롬, 렉시 탐슨, 리우위, 린제이 위버 라이트, 리민, 아슈라이 부하이, 강효림과 같이 여덟 명이 있습니다. 오오버 공동 48위에 강혜지, 유나 니시무라, 파자리 아난나루카른, 앨리슨 리, 나사 하타오카의 5이 있고요. 그 다음에 6오버 공동 53위에 지은이, 지나 김, 에밀리 크리스틴 페데르센, 자스민 수안 나프라, 사만사 와그너, 린네아 스트롬, 알렉사 파노, 마리아 스테크하우스, 포르나농 파트룸, 뭐이 어업이 있습니다. 그리고 7오버 공동 62위에 한국의 주수빈, 그리고 고보경, 알바네 발렌수엘라, 로렌 스테판슨, 모리아 주타누가룬, 마리아 파시 6명입니다. 그리고 8오버 68위는 스테파니 키리아쿠, 9오버 공동 69위에 엘리자베스 스조콜과 몰간 메트로가 있고요. 그리고 11오버 공동 71위에 gem마 드리버, 스테이시 루이스, 한나 그린, 샬롯 토마스, 아디티 아쇼크, 그리고 12오버 공동 76위에 박성현과 애니팍, 13오버 마틸다 78위에 마틸다 카스트렌, 그리고 꼴찌 16오버 79위는 루시리입니다. 비가 계속 오고 있군요, 보니까. 그래도 참 신지은이 첫 홀 버디를 한 게 참 대단합니다. (2014년) 제429회 메이저 제114회 US 오픈이 노스캐롤라이나주 빌리지 오브 파인허스트의 파인허스트 리조트 앤 CC 제2번 코스에서 열립니다. 처음으로 5자리 숫자인 1127명이 참가 신청을 하여 선발된 156명이 본선에 나와서 9언더 271타를 친 마틴 카이머가 두 번째 챔피언이 됩니다. 2010 Drama Rules at the Straits, Whistling Straits, Straits Course, 쉐보이간, 위스콘신, Straits. So many that not even the maintenance staff has officially counted them all. Perhaps it was fitting that only one, a wispy patch of sand trampled by spectators through a tumultuous Sunday, played a pivotal role in determining a bittersweet and historic chapter in the 92nd PGA Championship. Germany's Keimer, pronounced Keimer. Keimer emerged victorious from a 3-hole playoff with a Bubba Watson, posting a winning even par total in the overtime drama to become his country's first PGA champion and the second ever to win one of golf's 4 majors. The drama, however, was more compelling prior to the playoff when Dustin Johnson, clinging to a one-stroke on the 18th tee, saw his chances for glory erased due to a penalty. Johnson had placed his 4-iron behind the ball, unaware that it was part of a bunker. He went on to make a brilliant pitch shot to 7 feet over the hole, just missing a par putt that was to have been a championship-winning stroke. Kiemer, 25, won the ensuing 3-hole playoff over Watson with a par birdie bogey finish. They each finished the regulation play at 11 under par 277. Watson birdied the first playoff hole and Kiemer the second. The moment of truth came when Watson went for the green out of a thick rough from 206 yards at the 18th, the third playoff hole, and put his ball into 7 Mile Creek, 40 yards short of the green. Kiemer chipped back to the fairway before hitting a 7-iron third shot 15 feet from the hole and 2-putting for victory. He earned his first major triumph, came amidst a field featuring 97 of the top 100 world-ranked players and the PGA Championship record 73 players representing 22 countries. Kiemer wins PGA in playoff, Johnson out on penalty. Martin Kiemer won the PGA Championship in a 3-hole playoff Sunday that did not include Dustin Johnson, who was penalized 2 strokes for grounding his club in a bunker on the last hole. Kiemer captured his first major in a PGA Championship that might be remembered as much for a guy who tied for 5th. Johnson had a 1-shot lead playing the final hole at the Whistling Straits when he drove into a tiny patch of sand where the gallery had been working all week. Johnson grounded his club, unaware he was in a bunker. The gallery was packed in so tight that to Johnson it looked like a piece of grass that had been trampled. Walking up there, seeing the shot, it never once crossed my mind that I was in a sand trap, Johnson said. It's very unfortunate. The only worst thing that could have happened was if I had made the putt on the last hole. He missed the 7-foot par putt to seemingly slip into a 3-man playoff with Kiemer and Bubba Watson. But the 2-shot penalty turned his 71 into a 73, and instead of going to a playoff for redemption from his US Open meltdown, he tied for 5th and headed home. As Johnson was leaving the course, Kiemer was coming up clutch again. The 25-year-old German holed a 15-foot par putt on the 18th hole in regulation for a 2-under 72 join Watson 68 at 11 under 277. 1 shot behind in playoff, Kiemer made another 15-foot putt for birdie on the par 3 17th. Then watched Watson implode. Watson went from the right rough into the water, then over the green into a bunker. His bunker shot hit the flag and he tapped in for double bogey. Kaymer chipped out after seeing Watson go in the water, and he hit 7 iron to 15 feet for a 2-putt bogey. I didn't realize what happened, Kaymer said. I just won my first major. I've got goosebumps just talking about it. It was the coolest ending to a major since Robert Di Vincenzo signed for a higher score in the final round of the 1968 Masters that was won by Bob Colby. Watson was only disappointed for a few minutes until learning he had played his way onto the Ryder Cup team. 폭우가 엄청 쏟아져서 게임 열리기 어렵겠습니다. 예. 제가 지금 거의 2시간을 녹화했는데요. 일단 여기서 끝내야 될 것 같습니다. 예. 아이고, 조금 더 보여주네요. 제가 끝내려고 그랬는데. 이때 그 마이틴 카이머가 이겼을 때 2010년인데 이 친구가 2014년은 US 오픈도 이겼죠. 파이너스 때 2번 홀에서. 지금 아이패드로 당시 글들을 지금 다시 쭉 보고 있습니다. 2014년 US 오픈 얘기를 해드리겠습니다. 2014 US Open. Whether he was hitting his wedges close to set up easy birdies, executing brilliant recovery shots from the native areas of Pinus number 2, or making putts from all lengths, Martin Kaymer's performance in his 8-stroke 2014 US Open victory was historic. The Germans' back-to-back 65s to open the championship set a 36-hole scoring record milestone. A record 10,127 people filed US Open entries. Don't pop the bubbly or Tannenjeffle just yet. The US Open has a history of strange happenings. Like the time Arnold Palmer led the 1966 tournament at the Olympic Club by 7 shots with 9 holes to play and lost. Or when Gil Morgan got to 12 under 2.5 rounds into the 1992 tournament at Pebble Beach, only to play his last 29 holes in 17 over to finish in 13th place. Or when Ricky Barnes was 11 under through 42 holes of the 2009 weather-plagued US Open at the Bethpage Black before tumbling back to 2 under to finish second. Neither of them, however, was already a major champion, a former world number one, and a Ryder Cup star. But similar things has happened elsewhere and to big names. Earlier this year, Adam Scott led by 7 going into the weekend at the Bay Hill, but shot 71-76 on the weekend to finish third. So, you are saying there's a chance? That's what those chasing Martin Kaymer are telling themselves halfway through the US Open at Pinehurst number 2. Even if Kaymer's 6-stroke lead over Brandon Todd matches the largest 36-hole advantage in tournament history, even if his 130 strokes is the lowest 36-hole total ever in the event's history, even if he has made just 1 bogey. The only other guys to have this big a cushion going into the weekend over the national championship, Tiger Woods in 2000 and Rory McIlroy in 2011. We know how that went. Only 5 others in the previous 113 editions of the US Open have even reached double digits on the par at one point or another. 3 of them went on to win. If I was Martin, hopefully I would be thinking about how to get 7 ahead, and then how to get 8 ahead, then how to get 9 ahead, said McIlroy, who is 9 strokes back and has been on both ends of a big deal. It's not something that you, especially on a golf course like this, you can go out trying to protect anything. You just got to keep the foot on the floor, foot to the mat, and just keep it going. Hope is a small word, but that of course doesn't mean there isn't any left among Kaymer's pursuers. They don't hand out trophies at the halfway point. I think if I drew up my perfect plan right now over next 27 holes, you'd like to narrow the gap to less than half what it is, said Scott, who is 10 back. Anything could happen over 9 holes at the US Open. That was a sentiment repeated by player after player as they marched in Friday looking up at Kaymer's name atop the leaderboard. But each one knows they can't get caught up trying to play the man instead of the golf course. It's all about how Pinehurst will play over the next 2 days, or at least a little about that. US Opens are different mentality, said Brent Snedeker, who is tied for third with Kevin Na at 3 under. You can't get too caught up with where Martin is, because the golf course is first and foremost, so you got to plod around, bide your time, hopefully pick up 3 or 4 birdies in a round of golf, 4 or 5 birdies if you can, and see where that puts you at the end of the day. So far, the answer is pretty far back. I heard he played the number 3 course, joked Na. It's unbelievable what he's done. Is 4 or 5 under out there? Yeah. 10 under out there? No, I don't think so. I guess it was out there for him. So might be another major trophy. 이때 블로그를 보면 아침 7시 2분에 마틴 킴의 우승은 토요일인 14일 아침에 이미 결정났습니다. 10원도 바로 달아나니 아무도 따라잡을 수 없습니다. 11번 홀 215야드 2 on the green. 아침 8시 25분에 컴튼의 마지막 홀 세컨샷은 그린에 오르지 못하면서 거의 1언더 반은 2번 바로 떨어질 위험에 처했습니다. 파울로 더 파3 17번 홀에서 먼 파 퍼트를 남기고 있습니다. 놓치면 1은 더 바로 떨어집니다. 역시 그렇습니다. 아침 8시 45분 카이머가 마지막 17피트 5m 파 퍼트를 넣으며 9언더 파 271타로 제114회 US 오픈을 정복합니다. 정후 정후 정복을 이렇게 발음하는군요.